The night had yielded to a thick blanket of snow, enveloping our charming New England town in an immaculate white cover. As I lingered by the frost-kissed window, a steaming mug of tea cradled in my hands, I watched the gentle January light spill its soft radiance across the streets. The calm outside my window wrapped around me, a gentle force that seemed almost sacred, resonating with the stillness that had become a part of my life since Paul left. My former husband, Sam, departed when my son was merely 4, gathering his belongings and leaving us to carve out a new existence together. Despite the obstacles that lay ahead, Sam and I pushed through with determination. He became my unwavering support, the source of my greatest happiness. At 21, Sam was starting to shape his own identity. As an emerging photographer, my dreams frequently appeared to exceed the confines of this quaint town. The sound of footsteps descending the stairs broke my reverie, carrying with them a calm certainty that reflected the poise Sam had recently embraced. Upon stepping into the kitchen, he wore a snug knit sweater and jeans, with his camera hanging effortlessly from his shoulder. His smile exuded a comforting glow, able to melt even the coldest January morning. "Good morning, Mom," he said, leaning in to place a gentle kiss on my cheek. The gentle scratch of his stubble brushed against my skin, a quiet testament to the journey he had undertaken in his maturation. "Good morning, my dear," I replied. "Where are you off to at this early hour?" "The lake," he declared, his voice overflowing with passion. "The light is breathtaking after the recent snowfall, and I am driven to seize the moment before it changes." I nodded, a wave of pride swelling inside me. Sam had a sharp eye for beauty, frequently noticing subtleties that went unnoticed by those around him. It was the reason his photographs seemed to tell stories rather than simply capture fleeting moments. "Would you like some company?" I asked, surprising even myself. Generally, I permitted him to fully engage in his creative pursuits. Yet today, an irresistible compulsion beckoned me to join him in this endeavor. His eyes gleamed with excitement. "Is that really the case? Would you join me?" "Of course," I responded with a smile. It seems like ages since I last gazed upon the lake in its wintry beauty, cloaked in layers to ward off the cold. We set out, the cold air nipping at our cheeks as we navigated the snow-covered streets. The lake was just a stone's throw away, yet the path to it revealed a journey steeped in reflection, almost transcending into the realm of meditation. As I stepped onto the shore, the sight before me was utterly mesmerizing. The lake mirrored the gentle shades of the muted sky, with the stark outlines of leafless trees defining its edges. Frost clung to the branches, sparkling like exquisite jewels in the warm embrace of the morning sunlight. With determination, Sam began his task, meticulously adjusting his camera and finding the perfect spot to seize the ideal shot. I watched him, captivated by the depth of his gaze and the way his hands moved with precision and passion. In those brief moments, I glimpsed Paul, not the figure who had left our lives, but the dreamer I had once held dear. "Mother," Sam's voice pulled me back into the present. He regarded me with a faint smile, his head tilted ever so slightly. "Are you okay?" While I cleared the snow from my coat, a thought flickered through my mind. "Your creations bring to mind the essence of your father." To my surprise, Sam reacted positively when Paul was brought up, even though he rarely spoke of him. Today, a soft warmth illuminated his features. "Do you yearn for his presence?" he asked. After a brief pause filled with hesitation, I ultimately gave a nod, albeit in a manner that might not align with your expectations. "I yearn for the image of what we could have evolved into, the family we were meant to be. Still, I find myself without any regrets regarding how things transpired. It granted me extra moments in your company." Sam's gaze met mine, and in that brief moment, the necessity for words disappeared. He stepped closer, leaving his camera behind, and wrapped me in a gentle hug. As the fabric of our coats wrapped around us, his warmth seeped into my soul, and in that instant, I felt a deep sense of security that had been absent from my life for far too long. His voice was gentle, carrying a trace of relief. "I'm pleased that it's only been the two of us. I wouldn't change it for anything." Feelings surged within me, but I quickly set them aside. "I would not either," I whispered softly. We paused by the lake as the sun rose, softly warming the snow and melting away the frost. Sam captured everything, the sunlight shimmering on the ice, the gentle movement of water where ice met the shore, and the subtle tracks of a fox weaving through the trees, as I watched him thrive in his surroundings. A profound understanding enveloped me. Sam had risen above the simple title of my son. He had entered adulthood, carving out his own path ahead. Nevertheless, no matter where his aspirations took him, I was convinced that the bond we shared would last for eternity. As we walked home, I shot him a sideways look, a smile tugging at the edges of my lips. "Is that really you, Sam?" "Certainly," he replied. "Promise me something." "All things." "Remain ever vigilant to the marvels that envelop you." "We need a great deal of that." He smiled, his breath forming gentle tendrils in the crisp air. "I will not do that, Mother, I assure you." As we walked together through the gently falling snow, an unexpected feeling enveloped me, a warmth blooming inside, as if the winter morning had tenderly yielded to the embrace of spring. "Do you know?" Sam began, throwing a teasing look my way, a sly grin flickering across his face. Sam declared, his voice contemplative, that he believed he had uncovered the reason his photos had been lacking that distinctive flair recently. With a curious tilt of my head, I was drawn in by his surprising proclamation. He came to a sudden stop, raised the camera, and aimed it straight at me. "The topic that has consistently intrigued me has been in plain sight all along." He continued forward, a smile blossoming on his lips. I let out a soft laugh, brushing off the snow that had settled on my coat. "Are you talking about me?" "Absolutely not. I wouldn't describe myself as especially photogenic." Sam took his time to reply. Before I had the chance to express my dissent, he snapped a photograph. "You seem to have misunderstood that point. Mother," he finally proclaimed, "your beauty is undeniably enchanting. It goes beyond the superficiality of a model. It centers on capturing the essence of a person. How about you? Your qualities are genuinely exceptional." His words ignited a flush on my cheeks, even though the cold air played no part in it. "Your mastery of language is genuinely impressive." "Is it not?" I replied, striving to keep a sense of nonchalance. He offered a mischievous wink. It was an aspect of enchantment. He made a light-hearted comment, and the cheerful banter carried on without interruption. As we made our way home, he continued to seize the moments, drawing out laughter and smiles from me with his playful comments and the inside jokes that were uniquely ours. Upon our arrival at the house, my cheeks throbbed from the unyielding delight of grinning. Nevertheless, it was a profoundly beautiful form of suffering. "I eagerly anticipate revealing these to you," he remarked as we entered, the thud of his boots resonating against the wooden floor throughout the space. "I trust you will find them delightful, provided I have the opportunity to approve the edits beforehand." I playfully unwrapped my scarf and draped it over the door. He shot me a playful glance while making his way up the stairs. He remarked as he called back, "Don't be surprised if they exceed your expectations." A soft chuckle escaped my lips, the warmth of our exchange still enveloping me as I occupied myself with tidying up. Sam remained upstairs for the remainder of the day. A familiar pattern whenever he delved deep into his imaginative realm. From his room, the delicate strains of music floated down now and then, mingling with the gentle clicks of his camera. His concentration was unmistakably devoted to whatever task lay before him. As dawn broke, the enticing scent of freshly brewed coffee gently roused me from my slumber. With a languid stretch, I hesitated to abandon the warm embrace of my blankets against the biting chill of January's breath. As I pondered the idea of lingering in bed for a few more moments, the door let out a soft creak as it opened. Sam stood there, cradling a tray that bore a steaming mug of coffee, a muffin adorned with a flickering candle, and a delicate vase of flowers. "Happy birthday, Mom," he murmured, his voice brimming with warmth. "Sam," I whispered, my heart swelling with emotion as I sat up, struggling to hold back tears. "There was no need for you to go through all this effort." "Indeed, I did," he responded, setting the tray gently upon my lap. "You are worthy of it." He perched on the edge of the bed, observing me as I extinguished the candle's flame and took a sip of my coffee. It was flawless, precisely as I preferred it. The consideration woven into the gesture imbued the day with a sense of significance. Even before it had genuinely begun, the hours slipped away, woven together by hushed interludes and exchanged glances of warmth. As evening descended, the house embraced its familiar tranquility. As I nestled into the couch with a book in hand, I relished the tranquility that enveloped me. Just before the clock struck midnight, I finally caught the sound of Sam's footsteps echoing down the stairs. He entered the living room, cradling a sleek black box, his demeanor calm, yet his eyes shimmered with anticipation. "Mom," he declared, standing before me, "I have one final surprise for your birthday." I placed my book down, a smile spreading across my face as I looked up at him. "Today, Sam, you have accomplished quite a bit already." "What is this?" "Open it and see," he urged, a playful lilt in his voice. With a sense of intrigue, I raised the lid to uncover layers of fragile tissue paper. Inside lay a breathtaking ensemble of black lingerie, accompanied by a satin robe that felt exquisitely soft against my fingertips. I gazed upon it, briefly rendered speechless. "Sam," I started, my voice trembling. "This is truly exquisite." "There's more," he interjected, a smile spreading across his face. "Slip it on and make your way upstairs." "Believe me," I paused, uncertain of how to respond to his plea. The thrill in his voice was utterly contagious, summoning my resolve. I gave a nod and transported the box to my room, clad in the robe, with delicate lingerie hidden beneath. I climbed the stairs, a whirlwind of anxiety and excitement surging within me. As I softly pushed his door ajar, I was momentarily frozen in awe. The room was bathed in a soft red glow, as the light seeped gracefully through the material draping the lamps. An elegant silver pole stood proudly in the center of the room, surrounded by wispy tendrils of smoke drifting from a machine tucked away in the corner. A black leather cat mask lay on a nearby table, radiating a sleek and elegant allure, while the camera was held firmly in his hand. Sam pivoted to meet my gaze. "You look incredible," he said with warmth, his voice brimming with sincerity. He held out the mask, commanding, "Put this on. The photos will reach unprecedented levels of excellence." Even though I was hesitant at first, his reassuring smile encouraged me to move forward. "It's simply for pleasure," he murmured gently. "Your impact on others has consistently been profound. I will handle this for you." Taking a deep breath, I put on the mask and stepped into the warm embrace of the crimson glow. The atmosphere throbbed with lively melodies, each beat energizing everyone in attendance. At first, I felt a wave of discomfort, but Sam's warm words and contagious laughter quickly chased away my worries. He guided me gently, capturing instances that emanated happiness and resilience. "You have an innate talent," he said, briefly lowering the camera. "Your own brilliance may be beyond your full comprehension." His sincerity caught me off guard, and as our gazes met in the warm crimson light, I felt a shift in the atmosphere. This went beyond simple photography or festivities. It explored a deep connection. As the night unfolded, I gave myself over to him completely, letting go of my hesitations to fully immerse myself in the moment. The pulsating rhythm of the music filled the air, merging seamlessly with the deep crimson glow and the soft haze of the smoke machine. An exhilarating wave washed over me, revealing pieces of myself that had slipped into the shadows. Sam came to a stop, his eyes locked onto mine, a thoughtful expression emerging on his features. "You're incredible," he said, his voice filled with admiration. "Where have you been hiding all this confidence?" I let out a soft laugh and shook my head in disbelief. "Hiding it? Sam, this Thursday night feels a bit different from what I'm used to." "You've got talent," Sam said with a grin, "and I think you're enjoying this more than you care to admit." His playful comment elicited a grin from me. He wasn't entirely wrong. Embracing visibility brought a profound sense of liberation, a feeling that beautifully merged strength with openness. Out of nowhere, a memory surfaced, one I hadn't thought about in ages, hidden under the burden of duty and the drudgery of everyday existence. "Do you consider this extraordinary?" With a playful smirk, I crossed my arms, a spark of mischief dancing in my eyes. Have you genuinely not seen anything at all? Sam raised an eyebrow, a flicker of intrigue illuminating his eyes. What other mysteries do you hide away? I once participated in heels classes. I replied, allowing the satin robe to cascade from my shoulders, revealing the stunning lingerie beneath. I can still remember a move or two. His eyes widened in disbelief as he took a theatrical step back, his camera waving expressively in his hands. Indeed, you need to show it to me. I acquiesced with a pretended seriousness. Yet, I urge you, please refrain from allowing laughter to slip from your lips. I moved toward the silver pole, feeling the ambience shift into a palpable sense of anticipation. Years had passed since I last undertook such a task, yet there is an intriguing allure to muscle memory. As I removed my heels, I grasped the pole, rising smoothly before transitioning into a graceful spin. The movement glided smoothly, showcasing the countless hours spent perfecting my craft throughout the years. Sam stood still, unmoving. His camera briefly forgotten as I immersed myself in a sequence of movements that I realized were still vividly imprinted in my memory. A fireman spins, performs a fluid pirouette, and confidently climbs the pole. The soft red light flickered on the shiny silver surface as I descended, my movements fluid and confident. Upon my arrival on solid ground, I cast a glance to see Sam clapping enthusiastically, his smile wide and genuine. "Mom, that was absolutely amazing," he exclaimed, approaching me with palpable excitement. "How did I not realize you were capable of that?" I shrugged, breathless but exhilarated. It seems as though an endless stretch of time has gone by. I signed up for classes solely for my own pleasure long before you came along. Who could have imagined that it still resided within me? Indeed, I find myself genuinely impressed. He commented, his voice soft, a trace of pride weaving through his words. Wow, you possess an incredible beauty. The sincerity in his voice caught me off guard. He leaned closer, tilting his head to place a soft kiss on my cheek. The embrace of his affection surrounding me, if only for a brief instant. You look absolutely stunning tonight, he said, stepping back a bit to give me some space. I genuinely mean it. In a moment that felt like an eternity, I was rendered completely without words. His smile, along with the genuine admiration in his voice, filled the moment with a profound significance. Thank you, I murmured, pulling the robe tighter around my shoulders. Your words carry immense weight. As the music shifted into a soft melody, I became aware of the deep tranquility that surrounded the house. Beyond the walls of his room, the world appeared distant, almost trivial. In that instant, it was just the two of us, woven together in a connection that surpassed the confines of words. With a grin, Sam raised his camera again. Would it be all right if I made one last attempt? Just you by the pole, stripped of any adornments. Despite my hesitation, the comforting glow of his supportive eyes made it almost unthinkable to say no. Leaning softly against the pole, I let the robe flow gracefully over my shoulders, meeting his gaze through the lens. The flash lit up the scene, capturing a moment that I knew would be forever imprinted in my mind. Perfect, he said, his voice soft as he carefully lowered the camera. Your talent is truly remarkable, I laughed softly, shaking my head in astonishment. Your skill in capturing images truly stands out. He drew closer, a soft glow illuminating his face. Perhaps, he noted, but I feel you are assigning me more credit than I truly merit. From the outset, you have been truly remarkable. Mom, I feel incredibly lucky to have experienced it. His words left me completely at a loss for words. In the midst of playful exchanges, this moment held a profound importance, as though we had discovered a hidden aspect of our relationship that had been quietly waiting for the right time to resurface. The evening progressed gently, the atmosphere settling into a calming tranquility. Sam finally put his camera aside, and we found ourselves in the kitchen, enjoying a late-night cup of tea while laughing about how breathless I had been after my impromptu performance. It felt like a natural flow, an unbroken bond, as though the night had intricately entwined our spirits even more closely. As I nestled into bed, a whirlwind of emotions cascaded through my thoughts, a mixture of pride, joy, nostalgia, and a fleeting sensation that eluded my understanding. Sam had always been my entire world, the inspiration that fueled my determination through the toughest moments in life. This evening, he granted me something I had not seen as essential, a chance to fully engage with life again. Tomorrow, life will return to its familiar cadence. As I drifted into the comforting depths of sleep, I clung to the vibrant memory of red light, cheerful laughter, and the unbreakable bond between a mother and her son. The next morning, an eerie calmness wrapped around the house. Sam lingered upstairs, and as the minutes passed, an insatiable curiosity tugged at me regarding what he might be up to. At this hour, he often found himself in the kitchen, brewing a fresh pot of coffee or fiddling with his camera. A rare stillness settled over the landscape, a palpable sense that something had shifted. My curiosity was ignited. I made up my mind to check on his well-being. As I climbed the stairs, I paused in front of his door, trying to listen intently. The soft cadence of his voice caressed my ears, a tender murmur woven with gentle gestures. I tapped softly on the door, but I decided against waiting for a response. "Is that really you, Sam?" I made my entrance as I swung the door open. The scene before me brought my every movement to a standstill. He lay back on his bed, legs stretched out, camera held tightly in his grip. The screen radiated a gentle light, and the visuals unfolded before me with striking clarity, snapshots from the night before, the moments I had seized, bathed in a warm crimson hue, draped in a satin robe, surrounded by a delicate veil of smoke. As my voice reached his ears, he spun around sharply, hurriedly trying to shut off the camera. His face flushed a deep crimson, and he abruptly sat up, avoiding my gaze entirely. "Mother," he hesitated, "I must have overlooked the sound of your knock." Upon my entrance, I softly closed the door, creating a barrier between myself and the outside world. "Is that you, Sam?" "It's acceptable," I whispered gently, trying to calm his restless soul. "What led you to turn it off so quickly?" He was able to show it to me. His fingers gripped the camera tightly as he looked down at it. "I didn't think you'd want to see them," he admitted, his voice barely rising above a whisper. "The personnel is present." A soft smile graced my lips as I perched on the edge of the bed beside him. "Sam, you truly brought those images to life. I believe in your talents, and I look forward to seeing what you have captured." For a brief moment, he halted, his knuckles whitening as he grasped the camera with passionate urgency. His face remained flushed, the tips of his ears glowing with a bright red hue. After a brief pause, he exhaled slowly and nodded, passing the camera to me with a touch of hesitation. "I didn't intend to create this uncomfortable situation," he murmured. His gaze fixated on the ground. "I just wanted to make sure that everything was accurate." With meticulous attention, I took hold of the camera, powered it on, and started to navigate through the array of photographs. Each photograph held a distinct allure all its own. He had captivated me with a radiance I barely understood, a fusion of tenderness, strength, and charm that felt almost otherworldly. Some images caught me in a moment of unrestrained laughter, my head thrown back in pure delight, while others portrayed a more composed and deliberate demeanor. The red light bathed the scene in a soft glow, highlighting every detail with remarkable precision. "Sam," I whispered, my voice trembling as I stared at the photographs. "These are genuinely extraordinary." Finally, he raised his eyes, his expression a mixture of unease and eager expectation. "Is that something you genuinely believe?" I tilted my head, meeting his gaze with intensity. "Your skill is genuinely impressive. Sam, your view of the world and your understanding of me leave me searching for the right words to express my thoughts." A shy smile flickered at the edges of his lips, the tension in his shoulders slowly easing away. He murmured softly, "Hoping you would acknowledge the extraordinary individual that you are. Mom, your generosity has meant the world to me, and I have a strong urge to give something back." I set the camera down gently and reached out to take his hand, giving it a tender squeeze. "Your kindness knows no limits, Sam, in ways that may elude your understanding." In a brief pause, we remained in quietude, the burden of unspoken feelings surrounding us, both profound and comforting. His cheeks remained flushed under my gaze, yet a vulnerability lingered in his expression, serving as a poignant reminder of the depth of his growth. I playfully nudged, observing the rosy hue that spread across your cheeks, aiming to ease the palpable tension that lingered around us. He chuckled softly, his fingers weaving through his hair with ease. He admitted, a sheepish grin spreading across his face, "I just didn't expect you to walk in while I was looking at them." "There's no reason to feel ashamed," I said, handing the camera back to him. "What you have created is absolutely stunning, and my admiration for you is limitless." As he took hold of the camera, his fingers brushed softly against mine, and he held it close to his heart. "I appreciate you, Mom," he whispered, his voice gentle yet overflowing with emotion that genuinely carries profound importance. I leaned in, softly pressing my lips against his cheek, reflecting the sweet gesture he had shared with me the night before. His skin exuded a comforting warmth, and his eyes sparkled with gratitude as he presented a smile. "Sam, I must express that your talent is genuinely exceptional," I noted as I stood up. "Never let anyone alter your convictions." Upon exiting his room, I gently closed the door, making sure it latched softly without a sound. A wave of pride and warmth washed over me as I reflected on the moment. Sam rose above the confines of being just a son. He was an exceptional young man, overflowing with talent, compassion, and vitality. The events of the previous night, while unexpected, created a connection between us that I had never imagined could be possible. As I stepped back into my room, a smile naturally spread across my face. The images, the joy, the instances of mutual openness, all contributed to a feeling of building something distinctly ours, something authentic, raw, and deeply beautiful.